Hi and welcome to our webinar today about the brand new Teams Manager. Today I want to show you our newest product, the Teams Manager, which is an app for Microsoft Teams. My name is Christian Gross. I'm the CEO of Solutions2Share, and I developed and create a new app. And first, today we see some PowerPoint presentation about what is the new Teams Manager, what functionality is in, and of course, most of our demo is a live demo of our webinar. And in the end, I show you some details about the roadmap for the next few months, and of course about the pricing and how you can try it after our webinar. And I have a download link with a zip file which you can download after that webinar, and you can directly start in your 30-day trial. So let's start with our PowerPoint presentation, and then we go on to my demo, and I show you the Teams Manager live. So I introduced myself, but first some organizational things. The webinar is recorded, so after the webinar, tomorrow you get an email with all the information about the webinar. You get a link where it's a webinar recorded, and you can watch it again. If you have questions, there is a chat on the right side in your window. So type your questions, and in the end of the webinar, I try to answer all your questions. And if there are too many questions, we will answer all your questions in the end of the webinar via email. Of course, we have some contact details for you. So if you want to contact us because you want to have a trial of our tool, in the end of the presentation, there are all our contact informations. So just keep cool, and you get all the informations after the webinar or tomorrow. First, some words about Solutions2Share. Solutions2Share is an app development company, and we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and we have a development certificate from Renko for creating SharePoint and Teams tools. And what we do is we are creating apps. So since 2011, we developed apps for SharePoint 2010, 2011, SharePoint Online. We have some apps in the SharePoint App Store, for example, the news ticker or the multiple download. And of course, some of our products are very famous, for example, the Collaboration Manager or the Meeting Manager. All in all, we have over 15,000 installations worldwide. And if you want to try some of our apps, just contact me or go to the App Store and download it. Actually, we are 15 employees, and we are based in Nuremberg. This is a town in Germany. What I want to say is we have a new product, is the Teams Manager, and some other famous products, for example, is the Collaboration Manager. It's a full self-service app for Office 365, where you can provision Microsoft Teams, of course, SharePoint sites, modern or classic, and of course, groups. With the Meeting Manager, you can create meetings in SharePoint. You can set up an agenda, and you can create automatically protocols. And with the Template Hub, that is a really cool and small add-on for SharePoint. You have one storage place for all your document templates, and in every document library in your SharePoint environment, you can have access to that templates. But today I want to show you the Teams Manager. The Teams Manager is an app for Microsoft Teams, and it's a kind of a collaboration manager, but only for Teams, and it is an app which is directly integrated in Teams. but we will have a look on the UI later when we go to the demo. First is what we want to reach with that product is normally all users can create a team when you activate the Microsoft Teams in your Office 365 tenant. So if you don't if you don't control everything, you have uncontrolled growth of teams. So for example, you have 100 employees, and after 2 or 3 weeks, you have 300 teams, 400 teams, or 500 teams, and nobody knows which team is the right one. You have duplicated teams. You cannot merge the teams right now. So what I say is just, deactivate the automatic teams creation and build or create a process where you can request a team which you can approve, or a group of administrators or approvers can approve it, and then after the approval you can provision it, or you can create the team based on a template. So what I want to show you today is I want to show you the Teams Manager, and there I want to have a request for teams, an approval, and of course a teams creation. And what I want to show you at the first step is how you can create a team template, because if you only create blank teams, everyone create their own structure. And if you have hundreds of project teams with different structures, that is not so good for the users, because every project looks different. And what you want to have is a structured project environment, and that is possible with our templates in the Teams Manager. So just go over to my demo environment, and I share my screen with you. And here we are. So my demo environment is a tenant, an Office 365 demo tenant. And what I have here is the app, the Teams Manager. And the Teams Manager, you can access it via the Teams apps. So if you click here, you see the additional apps in Microsoft Teams. And here you can access the Teams Manager. The Teams Manager, if you want to install the Teams Manager in your environment, you only need a zip file, so the app zip file. You can upload it into the Teams app catalog, and then after 5 minutes, you can start with creating team templates and request your first team. So the Teams Manager is very easy. First, you have the tab Requests, where you can add a request. You have a tab for Teams. The Teams tab is for managing the teams, synchronize the teams with the templates, and do all the stuff. And then we have a Templates tab. In the Templates tab, we can create new templates or import existing teams as a template. And of course, we have the Settings, a Help tab, and normally every app has an About tab. So first, I want to show you how you can add a request for a team. And in the second part, I show you the app from an administrator view. So which settings you can configure and how you can create a template and save it, for example. But first, have a look to the user perspective. And we have here a button, add a request. When we press a button, we have the normal Teams view for creating a team. And now you can say, okay, I want to create a private team. And here is a list of all templates which are available in our Teams Manager. Because of that, this is a demo environment, and in the last 2 weeks, I did a lot of demos. I have several templates here. Normally, I think for your company, you only need 3 to 5 templates. For example, a department template, a project template, a template for external sharing, and so on. For this demo, I choose the webinar test template, say continue, and then I can give the team a name. For example, webinar 29/10/2019. Hello world. I can set an owner or multiple owners, and of course I can set some members and add a comment, just webinar test. The comment is for the approver. I show you the approval view later, and so you need to enter some comments why you need the team, or what you want to use it, for example, for a new project or for your department. So you say create, and then the request is automatically created. And because my account is added to the approvers in the settings, I see the approval here in the approvers view. Normally, when you are not an approver, you don't see the approver view here. You only have this view for my open requests, my approved requests, and rejected requests. But as an approver, I go to the approver view and I see, okay, there is a new request. And here on the right side, I can decide if I want to approve it or not. So for this demo, I say, okay, I want to approve it. I can set a comment too and say, okay, now I want to approve it. So, and now the Teams Manager create a team in the backend based on the template I choose in the request dialog. And the Teams creation is very, very fast. So normally it took only some seconds, but yeah, we can have a look on the Teams tab here on the left side, and we see the team is generated, and we see the first channel. And of course, the Teams Manager are now working on the creation, and now you see the tabs, the channels here, which I added in the template, are automatically added, and all the settings are set up. So for the user, it is very, very easy to create a request, and everyone can approve a team because the UI is very, very easy. So let's go back to the Teams Manager and have a look how I can create a template. So templating is also very easy. We have here a template list. In the template list, we see here the name of the template, a description, the version of the template. If you create a template and you save it the first time, you have version 1. But in our solution, you can modify your template as often as you want. Every time when you save the template with a Save Template button, a new version is saved in that tool, and the new teams are created based on the new version and not on the old version. To create a template, you have to press the Create a Template button. You can give it a name. And a comment. And now the Teams Manager is creating a new team. And after the creation is finished, it is added to the list. So the creation process of a Teams template is not scripting or programming. You only have to go to your team, which is created. So you have to click here on the webinar template. Then a new tab opens the team, which was created by the Teams Manager. And now you can configure your team template as you want. So you don't need to script something or create some JSON files or XML files or some PowerShell scripts. You just go to the team, go to the settings, for example, say, okay, no fun stuff. And you make some modifications on the member permissions. You go to the channels and add a controlling channel, for example. And we want to add a fun channel. And the next thing is that, for example, here in controlling, we want to add a planner. And if you want to add a website or something else, you can use all the apps here, for example, for a website or a form or a PDF, and all the settings, all the modifications here on the channel, they are saved in our team template package. And when we create a new team based on that team template, all the settings are set up at the creation process. So all the settings in the teams, all the channels, and all the tabs are pre-configured when we go to the team. So, and in the fun tab, we want to add a website. And for our demonstration, I think that is enough. You can imagine that you can configure your team as you want. And after you are ready with all the modifications, all the channels, all the tabs, you can go back to the Teams Manager and save the team as a template in the version 2. So we go back, select our webinar template here and say, okay, we want to save it. So this will take some minutes or 1 minute after we can create it. Okay, today it's very fast. So the template is now successfully saved in a version 2. And we see here we have 0 active teams based on the template. But what I want to show you today is how easy it is to create a team based on a predefined template or self-modified template. And after the settings, I show you how to create a team based on that template. So let's go to the settings here and have a look what you can configure. First of all, there is a setup page. When you enter the Teams Manager the first time, you have to grant permission to the Teams Manager. If something went wrong in your Office 365 environment or in your Azure app environment, you can go back to the setup page and press a button again, and you can give the Teams Manager access to your Active Directory or to your Office 365 tenant again. The next tab is the Approval tab. We have an option here that you can activate the approval, but If you do not need an approval in your environment, you just want to create teams based on a template, you can uncheck it, and then you can create teams immediately without an approval process. Here you see a list of 2 approvers, and if you want to add an approver, you just click Add an Approver, enter a name, and say Save. The next page is the licensing page. It's very easy. When you install the Teams Manager, you automatically get a 30-day trial license, and if you're interested in more, you can send us an email to sales@solutions2share.net, and we can give you a license after you purchase the Teams Manager, and then you see how long is your license valid. And of course, we have the administrator page, and you can add admins here for the administrative part of the Teams Manager. Okay, and the last tab is the Help tab. In the Help tab, you have a full documentation about the Teams Manager. For example, the introduction and the installation of the Teams Manager. Everything is well documented and very easy for you to install. So, and of course, the Teams tab. In the Teams tab, you can search, for example, for your team, and you see here that is our team we created today, and there is another functionality like in the Collaboration Manager. If you have a new version of your template and you want to push the modifications to an existing team, you can select the team which you want to synchronize or to update, and you press the Synchronize button, and now all the channels and all the tabs which are not in the last version of the team are added to the team. But you have to be carefully with that, because actually the Teams API is not based on IDs, it is based on names. So if you modify the channel name or the tab name, we cannot connect the tabs by the name, and a new tab with the name in the template is added, or the channel. So just be clear that the functionality is limited on the names, not on the IDs, and there are some limitations, but all the limitations are documented in our knowledge base, which you can access with support.solutions2share.net. So, for the last step here in the Teams Manager, I want to create a new team based on our new template and give it a name. Adding some members and a comment. And let's approve the request. And now we have to wait a second until the team is created and we can access it. So here we see the new team, and first the Teams Manager is creating the team, and after some seconds or minutes the channels are added and the tabs will be predefined, pre-configured, like the last request. So I think that will take some seconds till we are ready. And yeah, you see here the OneNote and the planner, and here is the fun tab with the Teams Manager. So the engine is very, very fast. So it's around about 10 to 26 seconds, I think. So it's very, very easy to use the Teams Manager, and the engine is really, really, really fast. Okay, so that was the demo, and we go back to the PowerPoint. If you have questions about the UI or how to handle the Teams Manager, just write it into the chat, and I will answer the questions in the end of the webinar. So what we saw is that with the Teams Manager, we can create custom templates without programming, PowerShell, or scripting. We can add a request, approve them, and the Teams Manager automatically create a full functional team with configured tabs, with configured channels, with all the settings, and all the owners and members are added to the team. And you can start really, really fast. You only need the app package. The installation is around about 5 minutes, and you can start. Perhaps some of you know that you can clone a team, and what I want to say is that the Teams Manager have a lot of more functionality. One of the best things is that all tabs are configured. So if you create a team, or you clone a team with SharePoint and with Teams standard functionality, the user have to configure every tab by themselves, and nobody knows which Excel document you want to add, or which planner, or which OneNote, so everything is really unclear. In our product, everything is ready, so the user can start to work and do not need a PDF file what he has to configure after the team is cloned. A really good thing is that we have a really easy solution in Teams, and that we can have an approval process. So we can deactivate the automatic Teams creation and have like a self-service with an approval process. And we do not need Power Apps or Flow. Everything is included in that app, and you don't have to add some other technologies. And we added some planner, document libraries, and OneNote. So for every new team, a new planner is created and a new OneNote. So everything is configured. In the next versions of the Teams Manager, and I will show you the roadmap later, we have all the SharePoint functionality inside, because what we do is we combine the Teams Manager with the Collaboration Manager, and the Collaboration Manager can provision fully configured SharePoint sites, and together we can provision really 100% complete teams. But I think that comes with version 2, and we focus on what we have now. So the Teams Manager is a very nice app. It's really really easy and fast to install, and it starts at $99 per month. If you are a small company with 249 users or 250 users, you can start with $99. Medium-sized companies to 1,000 users can start with $249, and to 4,000 users you can start with $399 per month. If you want, the service is a software as a service, so you don't need an Azure environment or some web server or web server. Everything is hosted in our environment, and it is included in the price. If you want to host it by yourself in your own Azure environment, or if you want that we host the Teams Manager for you in a new Azure subscription, everything is possible. just send us an email and we can discuss how we can help you. If you have more than 4,000 users, then send us an email and I think we can find a solution for you, like a separate Azure subscription that you have full control over the updates from the Teams Manager. And I want to say we are really flexible in how to set up the right environment for you. So today I showed you the Teams Manager in version 1. And of course, we have a roadmap for 2020 and the next release, the version 1.1, is in December this year. And right now we are discussing with Microsoft how we can add the Teams Manager into the Teams App Store. And I hope we will list it in the end of the month, so in the next 2 or 3 days. And if not, I think it will happen next week. For the next release, we have planned some custom metadata. So if you have a request, you can add some extra columns for example, department or cost center. We added a team lifecycle process. So you can say how long you want to use the team, 6 months, 9 months, 180 days. And then you get a notification in your team that the team is end of life. And you can say, okay, I needed 6 months more, or I want to archive the team. And we added some naming conventions. So you have a settings page where you can have a prefix and a suffix, and you can have templates for the team name and the channel name. And the naming convention is not only for Teams, it is for Planner and for the OneNote too. The features and fixes here are detailed. So we have I said the lifecycle, the metadata, and the naming convention. And for everything what happens in the Teams Manager, we added a bot to our Teams Manager in version 1.1, which send you notifications, and you can directly interact with the Teams Manager in Teams and not via mail, or you have to go to the Teams Manager and approve it or have a look if there are more requests. So you get automatically a notification, and then you go direct to an approval, for example. We want to improve the mobile view on the mobile phone. So the last iOS update for the Teams app added a new feature. So if you are a custom app and you have a page, the page is opened in the iOS app and not in Safari, for example. So we will modify the mobile view that you can enter requests and you can approve requests directly on your iPhone or Android device. And of course, we have some improvements on the UI, and what we want to add is that you can delete and modify requests. So, of course, there is a 30-day trial version. You see here the download link. It's bit.ly/download Teams Manager. And when you enter the URL into your browser, you can download a zip file. And you don't have to extract the zip file, just add the zip file to your Teams. And then you can start with the installation. There is a documentation in help.solutions2share.net. Then go to apps and the Teams Manager, and everything is documented how you can start with our app. If you want to have more information, or you say, okay, I just want to buy the app, send us an email to sales@solutions2share.net, and we can discuss which plan is the right for you. So, and the last is if you need more provisioning or more life cycle, for example, for your complete Office 365 environment, for SharePoint Modern sites, Classic sites, for groups and including Teams, or you are on premises or you have a hybrid environment with our collaboration managers 365, we can provision everything from SharePoint 2010 to Microsoft Teams. Just send us an email and we can schedule a personal demo with our collaboration managers 365. So this is the end of the Teams Manager webinar. I hope I can show you some very nice new things. Here are my contact details. Send me an email or just call my number and we can discuss how we can set up a trial or something else. And thank you for attending. And if you have some questions, just type it to the chat and I try to answer the questions now. The first question is, can the approver be on division levels? We are multinational companies. Yes, this is a feature in the roadmap. We will add this in the next version too. I forgot that on the roadmap. What about the email address in Outlook? Can that be modified also? In this version, we cannot modify the email. If you want to have that feature, you have to use the Collaboration Manager. The Collaboration Manager has a naming convention on email addresses, but this is part of the roadmap too. Are there any education discounts? We are starting on $99. So for $99, we don't have a discount, but if you have a big environment, we can talk about that. So the answer is yes, if the environment is bigger. Will you have a booth at Microsoft Ignite Orlando? No, we are not attending at the Ignite. But if you want to talk to an expert, we have a partnership with Rencor. Rencor have a booth on Ignite, and if you want to talk directly to our partner, I can send you the contact to a salesperson, and you can connect on the Ignite. How do you handle the constant change in the Office 365 environment? Yeah, this was a really big problem with the Collaboration Manager and the SharePoint API, because in my opinion, the SharePoint API is not so stable, but now we use only the Graph API and the stable version. And we developed around about half a year now on the product. And you can, there are not so many changes, and the changes from the API are not so bad to our app. So the Teams API is not comparable to the SharePoint API. It's much more stable, and if there are some new features in Teams, we will add it to our tool. But of course, we need some around about 1 month to develop a new version, for example, for private channels, which are rolled out, I hope, soon, and some other functionality. Can you give the Planner tab a name based on the team name? If you open the planners from the Planner app, all teams would be named Controlling Planner that are created using the template. That's right. That will be part of the next version with the naming convention. We know that there is a gap, and we will, for example, we will create the planner with team's name and then a divider, channel name, divider, and then the name of your planner. We will use that same functionality for the OneNote, and of course you can have a naming convention in the team as well, for example, with a prefix and a suffix, and some other functionality. What can be part of the template? Is the SharePoint site behind a team also part of the template? For example, additional lists. So in this version of the Teams Manager, there are no SharePoint functionality included. If you want to provision a full functional team and in the backend a complete SharePoint site and you want to connect it, the simple example is you want to create a new document library and want to add it to the tab in a team. You have to use the collaboration manager. All that functionality is available since just a year or half a year in the collaboration manager. Of course, both products are growing together, but now if you want to use that functionality, I want to say you have to use the collaboration manager and not the Teams manager. If you buy a license of the collaboration manager, the Teams manager license is included, so you can use both when everything is ready in version 3. Can you also remove the wiki tab is a question. You can remove it in the template, but Microsoft will add the wiki tab in the new team because that is part of the API. There we have to remove the wiki tab manually, but actually there are no good APIs available for the wiki. So actually every team has a wiki if you create it with a Teams manager. I hope there will be some improvements in the Teams API for the wiki, and then we can implement this in the Teams manager, and I hope that we can remove it at the creation process. Okay, so I was faster than I expected. I think there are no more questions. We have a URL especially for the Teams manager. It is teams-manager.com, very easy. And have a look on the website, and it would be great if you try our app and give me direct feedback. My email address is christian.gross@solutions2share.net. Just send me an email or give me a call and tell me what you think about the Teams Manager. It's brand new, and of course we need feedback, improvements, and if you want to have some functionalities or you have some great ideas, just text me, and I want to add it to the roadmap if it fits in our planning. So thank you for attending today, and you will receive an email tomorrow. So everything what we talked about today is recorded, and you get a link if you want to watch it again. And I can say thank you very much for attending, and I hope to see you again in our next webinar. And if you have free time on the 11th in November, I organize a Teams Summit. The URL is teamssummit.de. It's a summit for German-speaking people. You can attend there too, and there are like 5 or 10 tracks about Teams, and hope to see you there, and thank you for attending. Bye bye.